with problems and issues that are different from everybody else, right?
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So that's what I would get you to talk about. I think Reiki is really fascinating. My wife is actually doing it, and she really has a lot of positive results. And again, Robert, I'll tell you something else that most people don't know. Online right now, there's a real push for people to go into the spiritual. And I think it's because there's been a bit overdone on the logic, right? Everything is Google searchable. Everything is overly scientific. And I find out that people are really looking for something that can really connect them more to something spiritual, something they can't define. And so, Robert, there's a real opportunity for you to jump into this space right now. And again, we teach using digital products and social media. I can literally have you connected to your 1,000 true fans around the world, where we would create a free product with Reiki. Then we would create a low-cost product, and you would sell it on your own webinar in week 7 and get you your first $1,000. Robert, how does that sound to you? Can you click in? I kind of muted you again. How's that sound?
That sounds good to me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really doable, but the problem is that if you haven't done it before, Robert, it's hard to know what to do and what not to do. And I'll be honest with something else, Robert, is that I'm going to ask you to do some things that you would normally not do if it was just you, right? Because a lot of people are like, Brian, I don't want to post a video. I'm worried what people will say. Or Brian, I'm no good at technology. I can't build my website. Or Brian, and they use that as an excuse to not take action. And that's why most people sabotage themselves. Has anybody here done a little self-sabotage in the past? Anybody? Thumbs up. Yeah, I know you did, Robert. If you got to get sober, I did too. Sometimes we do this to ourselves, right? We know we want to be this. We know how to do this. So why do we screw it up for ourselves? It's the fear. And it's because we don't have someone to push us through when things get a little hard. So Robert, I'm going to show you 8 simple steps. To be honest, what I'm going to teach you, it's not rocket science. But what's the difference is that I'm going to hold you accountable to get it done. And that's why we have the success we have. You're also going to be surrounded with a bunch of people who believe in you, Robert, and who are doing the same thing. And they're going to struggle just like you. And the thing is, Robert, you're going to see some 65-year-old grandma in California who is struggling just to get on YouTube. And she's going to do the work on week 3. And Robert, you're going to have an excuse. And then this lady's going to do it. And you're going to be like, well, wait a second. She did it. That means I can do it. And you're going to get inspired by these people. And by week 7 and week 8, you're going to find that this group of people is just going to be an incredible asset for the rest of your life, because these people are just going to continue building these amazing businesses. And they're going to constantly remind you that you can be better. Does that make sense, Robert?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Are you joining us, Robert?
I'm going to join you. I am.
All right, man. Pull that trigger and make this gong ring is all I got to say.
I don't do that on here.
Well, so it's easy right here. There's a link in the chat. So there's a little text chat here, and there's a link in there that Julian just put in. It's londonreal.tv/BIZ. Do you see that in the chat?
Yeah, got it.
If you click on that, it'll pop you to the page. Select the option you want, basic, premium, or inner circle. Again, with the pay in full, you get the bonuses. The Dan Pena Live at the Ritz. I cannot emphasize how powerful that is. And I will send you that. You can get that tonight. It's 6 hours of just the most incredible motivation. So if you can pay in full, do it. You also get the video kickoff call with me that happens the Monday before the first keynote call. And we can brainstorm a bit more. So I highly recommend that. If not, lock in the payment plan and you can be in, and I'll wait for you and I'll hit the gong. All right?
Okay. That link's just disappeared. I'm on my phone, unfortunately.
Okay. Oh, I think it's just scrolling up. So, it's on your phone. Yeah. So if you touch your phone, you should be a thing that says participants at the top. And if you click that, there's like a chat. So if you touch your phone, do you see something that it says participants on the phone? There'll be like a little menu at the top. And if you hit one of those icons, I think it's participants, you'll go in and it'll say chat on the lower left-hand corner. Or we can post it again. Okay, we just posted it again. You should see the link there.
Okay.
And just click that and it should open a browser window and you can go from there. Did you find that?
No, it's not showing up. It's not showing up.
One thing you can do is on your phone while you're still listening to us, you can just open up Safari or a browser and you can just type in londonreal.tv/BIZ, biz.
London TV.
Try that. Uh-oh. That's not Robert. He can't go that quick. Who's that? Andrew. Is Andrew on this call? I mean, Andrew's not even on this call. So, okay. Andrew, congratulations for pulling the trigger. Again, Clint Eastwood once said, there's two types of people in this world, those with guns and those that pull the trigger. So, to some people that are just ready, they're ready, but they have all the reasons not to. And there's some people that are just like, you know what, Brian, I'm in. And again, this is the Zoom software that we use twice a week. Okay. That's what makes us different than anything out there online. I will take the Pepsi challenge against anything online. I don't care if you're Tony Robbins. I don't care if you're Tim Ferriss. We're better than all of them because we have this accountability process and I come at you live like this, bam, bam, bam. And that's how we get things done. We also have this private Facebook group. We get people to upload a lot of video. We have something called the accountability doc, where next to your name is every single assignment on the whole course and everyone can see everyone's work. And you also have teams of 20. And something I didn't talk about on the masterclass, and I'll talk about right now, is we separate each person into a team of 20. And each team competes every single week for prizes. We call it the Olympics. And these are real prizes. Like I will post your business on social media and get you customers. That's one of the prizes. So people fight for these prizes. So it ends up being this crazy, like Olympic gamified party for 8 weeks. And everybody gets more done than they ever imagined possible. And that's what kind of takes us to the next level. So again, Robert, I hope you figure out that link. But try to figure that out. LearnReal.tv/biz, and I'll wait for you to hit the gong. All right. Great talking to you, Robert. Yeah. Let's build this Reiki business. I'm pumped. All right. Dolores, she's got the dog. Dolores, what's the name of the dog? Dolores pulled the trigger. So Dolores can have my time. I like that. Hi, hey, Dolores, how are you?
Hi, Brian. This is Buffy. She's my little chihuahua. My business that I would like to start is with my brother, and he is a welder here in West Texas.
Okay.
And so I don't know if you've ever seen a welder, but there's a lot of oil and gas. I work in the oil and gas industry myself.
Okay, cool.
So here's the issue. Their clothes are very heavy. They are, you have to have them starched. So it's a lot of money to do that for these guys and just the time that they're out in the middle of nowhere. But they're very heavy, and they also do they're hot to begin with because they have the acetylene torches and such.
Yeah, my uncle used to weld. He's from Arizona, and I saw his whole kit. It's crazy.
It's crazy. So my brother is doing some prototypes right now, and we're talking just to think of designing something for right now. The oil field business, they're doing a huge. They're trying to get people to get into that are young. The average age in the oil and gas industry right now is in the 50s. So,
okay, gotcha. So trying to get a young demographic. Okay, so your micro niche or your 1,000 true fans would be these kind of younger people looking to get into this welding business in oil and gas. Okay, cool. I'm going to say a couple things.
With something that they want to wear. They don't want to look like their granddads and such.
Okay, gotcha.
They want to wear something that looks cool.
Okay, cool. I like this. I think it's an interesting starting point, but I'm going to say one thing, Dolores, because you already pulled the trigger on this, right? You're in, correct?
I'm in.
I'm going to, since, we've got a little time until that first call, and I'm going to be sending you the first module, but I want you to just, for an exercise, just for kicks, Dolores, for the next 24, 48 hours, I want you to do this. And I want everybody to listen to me, because this is a good exercise for any of you with your business idea. And that's this, Dolores, is that I would say, look, the clothing is a potential business model, but I would also ask yourself this one question, is this: what is the information that a lot of these young men are lacking when it comes to this industry? And is there a way that you could teach them this information in what I like to call a digital product, where you would take the intellectual property that is in your brother's head, who's been in the business for 20 years, and he could teach these young men maybe how to grow their business really fast, how to make the right moves, how to make the right investment decisions to get them to the next level. And I think, Dolores, potentially this digital product could be extremely valuable. It could get you your first cash inflows, and it could work alongside that physical clothing product. But I think both would make your business grow rapidly, and then you wouldn't be competing for a clothing product that maybe a clothing manufacturer could beat you to the punch. I think it's really interesting because she's got a great micro niche, folks, and everybody pay attention. She's already saying, Brian, it's West Texas, oil and gas welders that are young that would normally not get into the business. That's a great micro niche, right? She's not talking about welders around the world. She's not talking about some other industry. She can speak their language. I know what it's like to be you. I know it's hot in West Texas. I know the price of oil is down and you're thinking this business is not going to be around. Trust me, we've been through the recessions. We know how it works. You're talking their language already. I already trust you, Dolores. I'm sure I'm going to trust your brother because he's been there and done that. I already like you guys, and I want to pay you for information that's going to change my life and change my career. So this is a perfect example. And since we got a little time in the beginning of this course, I want you to just sleep on this. Now, your first reaction is going to be, no, I want to sell clothes. And I get this all the time. And people, they're restricted to a physical product because they think they're Amazon. They're like, well, people only pay for things that they can touch. The truth is, Dolores, is that 99% of the products that people buy these days are digital products. They're information. Think about the apps that you buy. Think about the online education. Companies buy training programs all the time. There's no physical product. Look at the greatest guest on London Real, Ido Portal. Does he sell physical product? No, he sells ideas. Dan Pena, does he sell a physical product? No, you come to his castle, he teaches you ideas. All of these people sell ideas. So if you can be in the idea business, Dolores, you can scale fast. I would argue you can make $100,000 probably 10 times as fast in the idea business than in the clothing business. So just some food for thought. Dolores, could you tell me what made you pull the trigger? I'm always curious.
What made me pull the trigger is essentially this. I've made other people millionaires. I've worked in the oil and gas industry many years, much like yourself in the financial background. But at the end of the day, I said, the bonuses are great and they're fantastic, but I'm on their nickel all day long. And so if they decide to give me a bonus, I get one. If not, I don't. My brother's in the same spot. I work upstream and he works midstream out of the oil and gas industry. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. And we're 14 years in difference. I'm the oldest and he's the youngest of 7. So, and I'm the oldest of 7. So yin and yang there. But at the end of the day, what made me do it was, what have I got to lose? It's only $3,000. And at worst case scenario, we've spent more on a fancy dinner, put it that way, when oil and gas is great.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. And I really appreciate you sharing that stuff, Dolores. And again, the truth is the only way to create real wealth is to own your own business. It's just the truth. And otherwise, it's some way, somehow you will be living paycheck to paycheck. And why not pay yourself the bonus? The crazy thing about this course is that you will hold your live webinar on week 7. I know it sounds crazy right now, but you'll do it. It'll be like the end of November, and you will literally make sales. And the thing is, those sales, they don't come to me, and I don't pay you a percentage. They go right into your bank account, and you collect 100% of it. You can do whatever you want with it. Now, I recommend you invest it back into the business so you can make the millions later. But the truth is it's your money, and you can do whatever you want with it. And I've been in the finance business, and she's right. Oil and gas, there's a lot of money in it, like finance. So there's money to be made if you own your own business. If you don't, it can be lucrative. You can get good bonuses, but you're never going to get to the next level. And so I salute you for pulling the trigger, Dolores. And I think there's really some interesting things to explore. The other thing I'll say about oil and gas is that I think it's kind of an old school business. And I think if you embrace it from a digital perspective, you're going to be way ahead of most of those Texas oilmen. So love having you on the course, Dolores. Let's get you in right away. Upload your introduction video to the Facebook group and let's start going. Think about what I said for the next 24 hours. Who's that, Robert?
Chris Kirkhoff.
Chris Kirkhoff just pulled the trigger. All right, great. Welcome everybody. And thanks for talking to you, Dolores. Great stuff. All
Fantastic.
Right, Robert,
thank you.
Okay, great. Robert, I hope we bang the gong for you soon. I'd love to talk to Emmy. Emmy, can you click in here and say hi to me? Emmy, where are you at right now? You look like you're in Geneva, I think.
Where? Hi.
Hi, Emmy. How are you? Are you in Geneva?
Helsinki.
Helsinki.
Yes, that's true.
Nice. Okay. Emmy, what brings... Oh, sorry. The gong's going crazy. Who's that? Oh, Robert. Robert, pull the trigger. Robert Mason, the Reiki specialist. I love it. I love it, Robert. I'm feeling Robert. He's going to do this. Again, Robert, think a little bit more about this micro niche, but it could be something really interesting here for the men that have gone sober. So love it. Robert, you're going to go into the Facebook group, do your introduction video, and let's do this. Emmy, tell me, why are you here tonight? What is that passion of yours that you really want to take to the next level?
Storytelling.
What's that?
Storytelling.
Storytelling. Okay, cool. Can you be more specific? Is there a specific type of storytelling?
Yeah, healing.
What is it?
like a healing story.
Healing stories. Okay, cool. Can you be even more specific than that?
That's coming. That's what I'm looking
Cool.
for.
Okay, interesting. Now, this is kind of interesting because a lot of people watching would say, Emmy, you can't make a business out of telling stories. I mean, that sounds kind of general. How can you make money telling stories? And Nuno's looking at me. Nuno's like, yeah, that's what I was thinking, Brian. And Melvin's like, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And so the truth is, Emmy, is that a lot of people make money telling stories, right? Like Steven Spielberg, even London Real does. And so the right story prepared to the right micro niche of people can literally change the game. Now, do you want to teach people how storytelling can change their business, or what do you want to actually do with those stories? Can you tell me?
Maybe it would be like a platform for the different methods, because there are plenty of methods for healing, like starting from manual therapies, like different kind of modalities.
Right. Okay.
Like plant
I think this is I think this is a really interesting market, and it's untapped. And if you watch tonight's masterclass, what did you notice that I used, Emmy? What did you notice? Did you notice something?
That micro getting not the whole idea is like too big and too spread. So need to concentrate, need to focus.
Yeah. The micro niche is really important. Also, we use stories, right? I mean, that's how the truth is that humans communicate through storytelling, right? That's how we've done it from the beginning of time, whether you're around the campfire or you're reading the Bible or you're telling Dr. Seuss rhymes. I watch my little kids watch these Pixar movies, they're stories, right? And that's how they remember lessons, right? I would even argue for Dolores, she needs to tell her story. She needs to tell her brother's story. That way we're like, oh, that's who she is. For me, I'm the banker turned broadcaster, right? Everybody knows that story. Why? Because that's really how we understand and process information. So, Emmy, if you can maybe even teach people the art of storytelling, I would pay money for that. If you can teach, now Robert is going to be using Reiki to sell his business, right? I bet Robert isn't necessarily going to be versed in how to use storytelling to turn his business into a profit. He'll probably do what most people do in entrepreneurship. They'll focus on the what. Oh, this is how you do Reiki. I want you to do this. I want you what. He's not going to tell the story of the successful person or tell the story of the hero's journey of someone that found Reiki. So, Emmy, I would say there's a few things we could do with you. You could teach people how to tell stories, or you could collect stories for certain healing disciplines and be kind of like the YouTube or the Google of stories. This is something I think we need to think about more. And this is something in week 2, we would go deep into the market opportunity map. And I'd want you in on Amazon and on Google and on YouTube to go and see, is anyone making money off storytelling? And the truth is that if you see competition, most people freak out. Like if Robert sees Reiki competition for guys that are sober, he'll be like, oh no, Brian. The truth is competition is a good sign. It means someone's making money. And if someone's still making money, it means they can pay their bills, which means you can too. So, Emmy, I would go out and do the competitive analysis is what we do in week 2. And we really go in and we follow all of your competitors. We follow their social media. We get on their email list. We go to their websites. We find out the products they're selling, how they're selling it. And we find out if there's a way where we can do something similar, but make it very much your own. And for you, Emmy, I don't know, maybe we focus on the Finnish market at first, or maybe we focus on the European market or the Scandi market, or maybe we just go global right away with you. But that would be something that we do right away. Emmy. Yeah. So I would say that. How does that sound to you?
That sounds great. And I would think that it would be even easier to start some other place.
Other than that, this is an interesting point, and everybody should listen to this, is that the funny thing is that, well, first of all, Dolores, can you answer me a question? Have you ever met anybody from Helsinki? Probably not, right? Has anyone else? No, it's kind of cool talking to Emmy from Helsinki, right? Right. Yeah. And so it's kind of cool talking to her, and it's kind of interesting to hear her look on storytelling. Like she's going to have a completely unique way of looking at stories, right? It gets cold up there in Helsinki, right? They're right next to Russia. They got crazy history. They got reindeer, right? They got crazy things. And so it's very possible that a woman in Texas would want to learn about storytelling from a woman in Helsinki. And so it's really interesting, the kind of international dynamics that happen out there. And that's why I really think it's important, Emmy, that you go out there and really sell your products to people all over the world. And I think that's one of your strengths, Emmy. So I think you should definitely embrace that part of who you are And I think it'll be a real big strength for you.
Thank you. Hope so.
So Emmy, are you joining our course?
I would like to make that space to do it.
Well, then you got to pull Emmy, you got to pull the trigger. How many people are feeling Emmy's energy? Thumbs up if you think she should move forward with this. Come on. Nuno feels you. Ben, you feel this? Dolores, you feel her? Yeah. I mean, look, everyone, Nicholas is feeling it. Natasha's a graduate of our Business Accelerator. She's stalking me here. Jeremy, I mean, look, Emmy, that's a sign right away. Look at this. This is the great thing about this course. Immediately, Emmy, you just got an international cross-section survey of who feels your passion. And most of the people gave you thumbs up. What does that tell you? Yeah. It tells you probably have a business here right away.
Support, yeah.
And that's why we love video on our courses, because video, you can transfer passion in about 2 microseconds. And Emmy, if you're full of it, you transfer that in about 2 microseconds too. That's why Dolores, I'm already a big fan of Dolores because she knows what she's talking about and she's passionate about it and she's got the IP. I'm already in. She did that in 1 minute. So Emmy, you must move forward on this and you must pull the trigger. All right. So click on the link and make it happen. Don't give me any of those Finnish excuses. All right.
Thank you.
All right, Emmy, we'll see you on the inside. Okay.
Yeah.
Natasha, come on, you got to click in here and say hi to me, Natasha. You're stalking me, Natasha. What's going on?
I know. It's so sad, isn't it?
No, it's great.
Hello.
So, Natasha just graduated, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm in France.
You're in France. Wow. So you just graduated from the Business Accelerator.
Yeah.
Can you talk about, like, you were on this call, maybe you were like some of these people, not sure. And like, what made you pull the trigger and like, what was that experience like?
I think I saw a couple of these and then I eventually pulled the trigger and then I wish I'd done it sooner. And then since graduating, I've sold some product. I'm working on my business. And tonight I was working on my business and then I saw this come up and thought, okay, I'll have a quick break. And I'm a few days in France and I'm able to do my business from France. So
look at you traveling.
What's not to like?
I know, right? And Natasha came from an interesting space because she worked in finance for many, many years, right? And it was timely. It was finally time to start your own business, right?
Yeah, I started my business 2 years before the Accelerator. I was doing parts of it, and then I knew there was a particular part of my business I wanted to work on, and that it was a digital product, so completely aligned to the Accelerator. So I came on board, and not only did I get the one part of my business I was interested in doing, there's also a couple of other ideas completely similar to the online product that I now have ideas for, and that's actually what I'm in France working on at the moment. So not only did I execute the one idea, I then immediately thought of a couple of other ideas that I could sell based on what I learned from the Accelerator.
Yeah, it's funny how action,
so it's just grown.
Action like creates things, it creates opportunities, right? So when you pull the trigger on something or you put out this minimum viable product and then you hang out with all the students, you just like things happen, great things happen to people who take action, right?
Yeah, and you'll meet such a great mix of people and there'll be so many ideas. And even though my product is finance, it still is a finance product. I was able to take ideas from other people on the course and their business was nothing to do with finance. And I could see how they were doing it for their business and I could take what I thought would work well in my business. So the creativity is insane. There's just so many things that you learn, not only from like you guys at London Real, but also in the community. So it's been a really beneficial course for me. And I'm like a month now afterwards, and it's still like fresh. Like tonight I'm working on stuff that I took straight from the Accelerator. That's what I've been working on this evening.
Wow. And what's the group like? What is the community of people like? Because it's really hard to explain that to people that are on this call because they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. What is it like?
Well, I think because I live in London, I'm used to having a mix of people around me anyway. but it's like my friendship group and my networking group, just like the funnel of that just filled up in seconds when you get dropped into that Facebook group. And you'll just see an amazing mix of not only people, but just ideas. And even now, not like an hour goes by when I don't hear from one of them.
Still, even after the course is over. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all still checking on each other, helping each other, and working together and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. You know, I always
it's a real sort of bond for life.
Yeah, it is, because, and the reason, so people that kind of, that doesn't make sense what Natasha's saying. The truth is that, you know, everybody goes through this stuff together, and it's hard for some people, and some people are good at the tech. They're bad at the videos. They're good at the videos. They're bad at the webinar, and they all have different points where they kind of freak out along the way. And the whole team, they get you through all that, and they don't accept quitting, really. And so you end up getting really close to these people, even closer than your friends and family. And I always say the biggest asset on this course is this group of people, because they're going to be with you for the next 20, 30 years. And like, you know, these people, Natasha, some of these people are going to absolutely crush it. You being one of them. I mean, like, I'm talking big capital C crush it, you know, and it's going to be amazing to watch. And you've really got those people. So it's great to see you just crushing it, Natasha.
Well, it's good to see you guys, but I am here just like moonlighting, and I should be working.
I know. Well, you get back to that part. All right, Natasha, what do you have to say to anybody on this course who hasn't yet pulled the trigger? What do you say to them?
Oh, well, if you remember how many hours I was working before the accelerator and during the accelerator, I just think if you are thinking about it, I don't think there's really an excuse not to do it. I was like a 70-hour work week, 20 more hours traveling on top of that. I had no money a few years ago, and I just started eBaying. I started contracting outside of my day job. I started doing consultancy. I just became this serial like micro hustler until I got my money that I needed to like get me to this additional level. So I would say, if you're thinking about it, this really is such a fast track into your business. It's completely changed my energy towards my business, but also the framework of my business and the confidence I have. The fact that I've just been offered a contract for over £20,000, and I turned it down because I was like, it's not aligned to my business. And I think the Business Accelerator gave me the confidence to be able to do that, because I know that it's much more worth my while to invest in my business, and 20,000 will soon be small fries to me. So do it.
I'm speechless. Natasha. Amazing stuff. And you're so right. You know, it's these shiny objects that we have to be careful of as entrepreneurs, because if you're trading too much of your time for that money, then it's going to hurt you in the long run. And what Natasha's doing, she's investing in her business and all the assets that are going to create this thing that's going to make it scale to where, yeah, 20,000 is just a rounding error on what you're doing. So, and look, Natasha's been in here. She sat in the studio and smelled the leather, and I talked to her, and you can watch her interview on YouTube if anybody wants to. Just search her name, and you know, you can see what we're dealing with here. Like, she's very committed, and I'm excited for you, Natasha. So
good to see you again.
And it's nice to see you not working those crazy hour weeks, and to get a little headspace, because I think you'll just be more creative and more happy, and you'll get the funny out of the box ideas will come into your head quicker. So keep us posted. Super excited, Natasha. Thank you for being here. Okay, cool.
Bye.
All right, so you heard her. If you want to watch her full interview, you can YouTube her name, and she was there in the studio with me. And again, you know, Natasha, she's just very focused, and she's very reasonable, and she's logical. And she like saw this, and she knew that she had to go digital with her products, and she saw the price of the course, and she's like, this is a no-brainer. And now she's making it happen and executing on it. So it's just fantastic to see. And again, just the reason I do this, I got big smiles, and I'm just so happy. And I just want her to crush it, and I know she will. So it's all good. All right, look, folks, I got a few minutes. I got to say hi. Mariana just texted me, and she's got literally dinner waiting for me, and she's probably on this call. She comes sometimes. Baby, are you here? If you are here, click in. She's always checking up on me. But I got to get back. But I always spend as much time as I can here because one of you will be the ones that pull the trigger on this course. And you're going to come to graduation in December. And you might sit in the leather chair and you're going to say, Brian, I was the one that was giving you all the excuses. I was the one from Finland who hadn't yet pulled the trigger. No offense, Emmy. I was the one. And then you stayed on this call. And finally, I realized that I was going to do it. And there's always one of you that tells me this during graduation. You corner me at dinner and you tell me this story. And so that's why I want to stay here and make sure I answer as many questions as I can, because one of you could literally change the game in this whole world and create the billion-dollar business that affects 1 billion lives. And I want to be responsible for it. And I sure as hell don't want to go to the arches of heaven and be told that you went home early that night, Brian, and you missed out on Emmy and you didn't change the world. So I don't want to live with that guilt. So I'm going to stay here. Nicholas, will you click in here and tell me where are you at right now, Nicholas?
Hello.
Hey.
So I've just lost my job.
Okay. See, look, so that's an excuse not to do this, and yet you still pulled the trigger, right, Nicholas?
Yeah. Well, I'm getting my CV ready to go do the same job again, basically.
Okay.
But I've also had this idea for doing synthesizer modules for some time for this thing, and I thought in the last few weeks I've been thinking, trying to design some, and then what I can do is take it to an engineer, build the circuit, and then because I'll have some money to do that.
Right.
And then I get someone to sell it. And so I discovered London Real about a week or two ago.
Okay.
So I've seen the emails about this. And so I came on this to see what it'd be about, would be interesting. And I've gone having some ideas to a lot more refined idea, I think.
Okay. Okay, good. Well, it's interesting, Nicholas, because, you're potentially going to get into the hardware business, which is a tricky business. It costs a lot of capital expenditures. Yeah. And again, you don't always know what's going to happen. There's middlemen, there's salespeople. And so on this course, I really believe that we can explore the viability and test the viability of this market before you expend your capital. Yeah. And I think the next 3 weeks are going to be a game changer for you when it comes to opening up your eyes about the real viability of your market. And I'll say one other thing, Nicholas, and I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I'm going to say that I bet the intellectual property in your head might be actually more valuable than that hardware behind you. Well, and that's the exciting part. And again, like I said, Dolores, it's very common for people to think as a business person, I sell physical goods. And once you flip out and realize that, like I said, 99% of the products in the world are actually intellectual property, it gets exciting. And I'm not saying you can't sell the physical and that can't be part of your business, but to explore the intellectual property is really exciting. And it sounds like you're already thinking about that, Nicholas. And that's where I'm going to push you in the next few weeks to go into that.
One of the things I thought very interesting was, one of the reasons I signed up is because I'm good at ideas. I can design stuff, I can solve problems. And I'm good at that. I like doing it. But I don't know how to sell that.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I clicked the button.
Okay, good. Well, that's common. And again, ideas aren't worth anything. Execution is where the value is. And we see this all the time in Silicon Valley. I couldn't tell you how many students that told me they thought of Uber before Uber did. And I usually hang up the phone because that's just an excuse, isn't it? That's procrastination. And that's someone who didn't pull the trigger because of fears or didn't make it happen. So ideas are actually a dime a dozen in Silicon Valley. It's the people that execute on them, that test them, that make sure there's a market and get it happening. And so it's a great thing that you said that, Nicholas. And I want to give you the tools on social media, on digital, on video production, and give you the courage and the accountability to put yourself out there. And you will be surprised, Nicholas, at the amount of money that people will pay for your perspective and your ideas on what you know about your technology. So I'll leave it there. I won't go any deeper tonight, but I'll just say, just like with Dolores and anybody else listening, really explore this idea of your intellectual property. Most of us think that what's in our head isn't very valuable. You're like, yeah, this isn't important. Maybe a few people care. It's actually massively valuable if you can get it in front of those 1,000 true fans. And again, that might be one person here, one person in America, one person who's on the board of General Electric, one person, who knows? But they will be like, wow, I would pay this guy $50,000 if I could just get a few hours of his time because he could solve a problem that I would never figure out. So I want everyone here to think about that and to realize you have that power. And most of the time, we're just too harsh on each other, on ourselves. We're the biggest bully, right? The biggest bully is the one in the mirror. Anybody like that, right? You tell yourself you're not good enough. Oh no, this isn't going to work. Blah, blah. I don't want to hear that for the next 8 weeks. I want to encourage you to experiment and take risks and put your ideas out there. And Nicholas, that's what we're going to do. Who's that?
Dallas Dixon, New Zealand.
Dallas Dixon in New Zealand. I love the Kiwis. Do you know why I like the Kiwis? Because they get up at 4 a.m. for my live calls. That's pay price to action. That's what I like. This means they really want to be there. So I go the extra mile with those Kiwis and Aussies. So I love it. I thought that was Emmy in Helsinki pulling the trigger. Come on, Emmy. The link's in the chat. Emmy, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. All right, cool. Anyways, Nicholas, great talking to you. Okay, I love it. Hopefully you paid in full in Champagne live at the Ritz. I guarantee lock in for that for 6 hours. Make sure there's no children in the room, and make sure that you haven't eaten a meal recently. And it will be a disturbing, but it will change your life. All right. So great to have you on the course. All right. Look, I want to try to talk to a couple other people before I better run home. We got here. Johnny, are you going to talk to me? Johnny Van Zelm, you must be in Holland, right? Is that true? Or you have to touch the screen and unmute yourself. Or maybe your ancestors are from Holland. John, you got to touch the screen and unmute yourself is what you got to do. Or Sebastian, you're going to say, oh, Johnny.
Now, can you hear me okay?
I'm good, Johnny. Oh, that's not a Dutch accent. Where are you?
No, my father's Dutch. I'm American. So grew up in Venice Beach, California. I currently live in Tacoma, Washington. So just check.
Johnny, what was Venice like back in the day? What was Venice like 20 years ago?
Lots of gangs, middle class neighborhood. Half the place was kind of rotting and melting down. And I think in the late 90s, it started to pick up, and places that were $100,000 became $1 million within 3 years.
And now Snapchat is there, right? Snapchat.
Oh yeah, yep.
I love it. So, Johnny, what brings you here tonight? Why are you curious about this program? What are you passionate about? What do you want to make a business?
Sure. I'm an animator and a visual effects artist. I've worked in the video game industry for 20 years. Video games have been my passion. 2 years ago, I teamed up with two colleagues of mine, and we started to work on a game of our own and started our own company. But we are at a point right now where we're about 90% ready with our demo. Okay. We've run around and pitched to publishers, and the steam is kind of run out of the engine a bit on that side. And
it's really hard. I actually meet a lot of technology CEOs here in London who are great at creating products. They're super smart, right? Sound like you. But when it comes to actually marketing and getting the buzz out and getting their products in front of their 1,000 true fans, they're actually horrible at it. And they usually just don't know how to embrace digital media. The other thing they're afraid of, Johnny, is they're worried about putting themselves on camera. They're like, oh, I'm a CEO. I can't do it. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. These days, the CEOs of the company have to be the face of the company, right? Look at Tim Cook from Apple. He presents the phone. Look at Elon Musk. He's on social media. Okay, he shouldn't be on social media. Thank you, Elon. But he's out there. I'm telling you, if Elon wasn't on social media, his companies wouldn't be worth billions and billions of dollars because he sells the dream, Johnny. He is the vision. And if he's not there telling you every day where we're going, it's not going to happen. And if you look at the CEO of this world, they are the ones that are constantly in communication on Instagram, on Twitter, on all that stuff. And you need to be that person, Johnny. And I would argue you're probably not that person now, and people in your industry aren't that person, but you need to be talking about your IP. You need to be communicating your mission, and stop worrying about gatekeepers like publishers deciding if your business is going to be a success. I think that's a big mistake. I also think that maybe you have some intellectual property you're not leveraging, and you're putting it all into this one product when you might have a whole suite of products that you could sell to people. So, yeah, Johnny, I'm trying to get you just to think outside the box. Like Natasha was saying, it's just about getting new ideas in your head. Johnny, it sounds like you're a really smart guy with lots of value to a lot of different people, but you're you know what? Have you ever heard the expression, Johnny, if all you have is a hammer, then everything looks like a nail, right?
Right.
Yes. Where everybody probably is trying to create this one type of product, and then you spend all of your time investing in the product, and then you try to sell it, and if it doesn't sell, you're a failure. I don't think it's the best way to look at your business and your value to the world. So that's what I would do, Johnny, I would first of all get you on video right away. I'd get you talking about the industry, 10 vlogs in 10 days. I get you talking about your industry, products, your product, the changing face of the consumer, what's going on, what's hot, what's not, where you think this place is going, and start getting people to know who you are, getting feedback. And I would really start trying to find a market for your product by going direct to people out there, or starting to create different products with your own intellectual property. I don't know. What do you think about that, John?
Actually, I think that's a good idea. The three of us have been in the trenches our whole career, and we have trouble communicating. I do, and when we do these pitches, we struggle with them.
Yeah, but
in fact, I would hand it off. Yeah,
you're talking to 50 people like it's nothing. Like, you're a great communicator, aren't you?
Yeah, I feel so, and it's kind of funny hearing this from you. I had just come back from Boston a few days ago. I visited a good friend there. I've known for 20 years, and he read me the riot act. He said, "You should be the one doing the pitches. I don't know why you're handing it off to your programmer who can barely speak and is, he's shy. He's afraid to talk to anybody." So,
plus, let me just, I'm going to give you a free survey here, Johnny. Let me get thumbs up for everyone here that thinks Johnny should be the communicator and take his voice to the market. And thumbs down, which means Johnny should stop talking because we don't like hearing from him. Come on, show me the thumbs. Jeremy, Sebastian, show me thumbs. James, come on, be honest. We can't find you. AG, what do we see? How many thumbs up do you see? Okay.
Oh, I don't see any because on full screen. Yeah.
The power of video, Johnny. You just used a few-minute piece of video. Thank you, Dolores. I appreciate that. You just used a few minutes of video and you transferred your passion. Now, none of these people here probably know anything about your market. We don't know what the hell you do. We don't know what your product is. We'll never buy it. But we feel your passion and we're already interested. It's real. So, this is obviously something you need to be doing. And I honestly believe that just you communicating your ideas will put you in touch with partners, with all sorts of different types of people. And getting your ideas online are important. Imagine if you had a TED Talk with 100,000 views right now, Johnny. Do you think you would have your product sold? Yes or no?
Absolutely, yes.
So, folks, communication is one of the big things out there. And my job on this accelerator is to get you on video and to push you through the next level. So it's to get you on video, to get you to publish those videos, to get you on social, to get you think about a digital product you create with your own intellectual property in your head, to get you out there and sell it. And the truth is, Johnny, is that you might have a business to business play. You might be selling your IP to this or this or this. All of this can open doors for your software product. What won't open doors is you continuing to do the same thing you're doing. It's just not going to get you anywhere. And so that's what we would do. So it's a no-brainer, Johnny. Are you joining us?
I'd like to. I need to look into it and measure my time. But yeah.
You don't look into it. It's 2 to 4 hours a week. The link is right there. I don't think money is an issue, and there's a money back guarantee. So look, this is a defining moment. But again, this is what stops a lot of people because they procrastinate the decision. The truth is that this is obviously something you have to do. In 8 weeks from now, the worst case, you're going to be a better communicator, and you're going to start this journey. The worst case is that you do nothing, and it's hard to get momentum. Because I'll tell you, the truth is, John, if you try to do this on your own, in 2 weeks, something will happen and you'll come to a comfortable space and you just won't publish. And it gets to a point where you don't have critical mass. So, Johnny, the truth is that it's right there. Honestly, I think you should join us. There's not many other choices out there.
Well, let me have a look at it and I'll let you know soon.
Okay, there is a link in the chat. And just so everyone knows, there is a link in there and it's lendermeal.tv/biz. So if you want in, it's simple, it's doable, and this is a crazy class, man. It's filling up. Nice talking to you, John. I wish you the best.
Thank you. Thanks.
Sebastian, you're going to click in here and talk to me really quick?
I did.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just mute everybody so it's quiet. And then, Sebastian, can you unmute yourself and I can chat with you? Again, I got to talk to a few other people, and then I got to go home for dinner. Sebastian, tell me, where are you at? What's your passion?
Cool. How are you? I'm
good.
In Ireland at the moment, but I'm actually based in Cornwall.
Okay, cool.
Based in Cornwall in the UK. And so can you hear me there? Sorry.
Well, yeah, I can hear you, definitely. You're from Ireland, you're based in Cornwall.
No. I'm from Chile.
Oh, from Chile?
Yeah, from Chile.
Oh, wow, man. I didn't hear that. Okay, cool.
My in-laws basically here in Ireland.
Okay, cool. Good stuff, man. What's your passion?
Well, got quite a few of them actually when I did your exercise. So among them, it's like cooking, fitness, health, movement, music, outdoors, sharing knowledge, writing, teaching.
Okay, cool. And where does and talents, where do those overlap?
Pretty much at least 50% of my passions as well, I think. So cooking, arts, writing, being outdoors, leading.
Okay, good.
Relationships with.
What about this concept of the 1,000 true fans? Like if you really had to narrow it down to a really tiny sliver, a micro niche of people that would, again, buy a product. Remember, the purpose of a business is to sell a product. So your product has to solve a problem for someone. If you thought about that, what types of people would those be? And what do you think their problem would be?
Right. So a little bit of how I put it all together. I thought on how to teach adults, male and female, from 30 to 65 years old. I thought I know it's a big.
From 30 to 65 years old, you're killing me. You weren't watching the course, were you?
No, I was actually, but it's a bit hard because let me finish it. So I went for like the adult kind of like the working class or the person that is working, that is already an adult, that is starting a family as well, that they find little time to do things in general. And
but you don't have to finish, Sebastian, because if anybody told me 30 to 65, it's by definition not a micro niche.
Right.
But even 30 to 55 is not a micro niche. Even 30 to 50 is not. Because you're talking about people in completely different places in their life with completely different wants and needs and problems and languages and conversations and hobbies. So for anybody who's on this call, whether you're joining this course or not, if you want to start a business someday, you really need to narrow this down until it hurts, until you're like, Brian, please don't make me do it anymore. This hurts too much. You're going to kill me here. So again, talk about a real sliver, ideally a 5-year age demo, and tell me a specific problem they have.
35 to 40 years old in the UK.
Yeah.
Actually don't know how to cook.
But that's still not enough because that's general. But who wants to go 100% plant-based? Now maybe you got something here. But just cook, I don't know if that's enough. I think you really need to talk to a specific type of person, or maybe they're a professional, or maybe they have chihuahuas. You know, I don't know. But it's got to be something, right? And I'm looking at Dolores here, so I'm going crazy. But I mean, look, Sebastian, you're on the right track, and I'm not expecting this to be easy. And I'm trying to push you a little bit to be uncomfortable because this is hard to do, the micro niche. But I would just say the more specific you can be, the easier it will be to make money and to carve out your beachhead.
So what about like with chronic health issues? Because basically I come from the background of medicine.
Could be.
I'm actually a doctor.
So this is more. So again, more of your passions and talents that get integrated into your business, the better. The more you can integrate something that you alone are passionate and talented about, the more you can cut out your competition. Because at the end of the day, passion is what keeps you alive, and it's what connects with your customers. For example, I mean, look at the passion of Johnny, or look at the passion of Dolores. Like, there's not many people that are that passionate about these niches. You add on top of it their talents, and you start to do something that no one else in the world can do. So for you, Sebastian, sure, I like chronic health. I have inflammation issues. I have things, I react to gluten, or I'm going paleo, or I'm going keto, or whatever. And you're teaching me to cook in a specific age group or demo group. Now you're talking. This is something where we can make our first $100,000, and you'll be known as that guy, right? For the rest of my life, I'll be the banker to broadcaster, whether I like it or not, right? That's my niche, right? And so I'm the guy that teaches you how to turn your passion into a business. You can be the guy that teaches me, if I'm 35 to 40, that I have chronic health issues and I want to blah, blah, blah. You're going to go the one that's going to teach me how to cook in the UK. That's what I want you to think about, Sebastian. And so for anyone here, go micro. And for you, Sebastian, I would say just continue that. We have a whole process where we go through this whole thing, the market opportunity map. But the truth is we push you even further. It's 10 vlogs in 10 days. It's getting feedback. It's setting up social media. It's creating a free product. We create a landing page where you collect email addresses. I teach you how to sell via email. Nobody wants to buy on social. Don't sell people on social. I teach you how to run a live webinar where people buy products. I teach you how to sell it digitally. And then I teach you how to create a $2,000 product, which you'll never do on your own. And I'll show you how to be able to create $20,000 worth of revenue. That's what we do. The only way to do that in 56 days is to have me on you all the time. And that's what we're doing inside the Accelerator. So this is, I hate to say it, an opportunity that's not going to come many times in your life. So Sebastian, if you want that, click on the link and join us and make it happen. And if you don't, that's fine too. But I got to spend my time with the people that are going to go for it. All right? Who's that? Wait, Emmy. Xavier King. Emmy, I'm waiting for you in Finland, Emmy. Come on. What's wrong, Emmy? You're killing me. Tell me a story. I'm going to tell you a story of a lady in Finland who didn't pull the trigger. Yeah, it's going to scare all your grandkids. But why didn't she pull the trigger, Brian? It was the way for her future. Well, because Emmy, no, I'm just joking. All right, but that's a good story, right? Anyways, Emmy, I'm waiting. Look, Sebastian, I hope you pull the trigger. It's in there. You got the payment plan. You got the money back guarantee. You know what you need to do. Make it happen. Join this incredible group of people. Look at these awesome people, right? You can even hang out with the Chihuahua if you want. All right? All right, brother. Look, we're here for you. All the best. All right? Make it happen, okay? Okay, folks. All right, look, I just sent Marianne a text. I don't know if she's here. I got to answer a few more questions. Again, folks, I can't implore with you enough the need right now to just make it happen. Because honestly, if you wait till tomorrow, you'll tell yourself more excuses. And the monkey brain is this crazy thing. And I'll finish with this, and I'll try to answer a couple more questions. But as Natasha knows, I believe that we're all at a war with our own brains. Does everybody agree with this? We're all at a battle with ourselves, right? We know what we need to do, right? We know what we have to do. And I always say in the course, if we acted on the information that is available to us, we would all be billionaires with six-packs. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Now, who's a billionaire with a six-pack? Anybody here? Even Elon Musk doesn't have a six-pack, but whatever. The truth is that we won't take the action because we don't want to go into the fear. We don't want to go into the risk. We don't want to go into the potential pain. So we just don't. And we end up leading these kind of careful, risk-free lives, and we end up being mediocre. And we look back and we're like, wow, this sucks. I'm not what I thought I would be. I'm not who I thought I would be. And we get to a point where we're just like, what's wrong? And the truth is that we're at this little battle with our brains. So some of you are coming up. No, I'm not going to say any names, Emmy or Sebastian. We're coming up, or Johnny. We're coming up with reasons. Oh, I'll look into this. What do you have to look into? The link's there. It's like, and we say, oh, I'm busy right now. Next year would be, oh, I don't have the time. The truth is it's the monkey brain playing safe, because the monkey brain just wants you to watch Netflix, eat jelly donuts, and pass your DNA on to someone else and then slide into the grave with no drama. That's what the monkey wants. But the front of your brain knows to live a fulfilling and incredible life, you must take risks. So you're at a battle with your brain right now, and you're like, really like Brian? Oh, I'm going to come up with an excuse. Money, it's not really an excuse because you'll spend the same amount on sneakers. Time, it's not really an excuse. If you stop using Facebook for the next week, you would have time to do 3 of these courses at the same time. So it's not time. It's this weird fear. It's like a little thing on your shoulder. So I'm just calling you out on it is all I'm trying to do. Honestly, my money back guarantee is me calling you on your own BS. That's the only reason I put it up there. The payment plan is me calling you on it as well, because I'm here to say that you can do this. And those are both excuses. And so I'm just trying to cut it all the way down to where you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, you're right, Brian. It's just me. And it's this little brain that's been kind of making me play small all these years. And I'm tired of it. So these are just a reflection back to you. And that's why I push you right now. And that's why I'm pushing you a little bit, because again, some of you will end up pulling the trigger and you'll come to the graduation and you'll say, Brian, this transformed my life. I hear it all the time. And you're like, this opened up so many things in my personal life and everything. Thank God, at least Natasha's not working 90 hours a week. I feel better about that. But it's worth me going this distance and talking to all of you people, because it'll literally, one person will change the life. And I'll say one other thing that I don't talk about very often, is that Natasha will end up changing the lives of another 100 people, 1,000 people, or 10,000 people. And she'll change their lives in an incredibly positive way. She's already done it to her classmates. And she'll do that through her digital products, and people will be inspired by her. How many people are already inspired by Natasha, right? She's got a great energy, right? Thank you, Dolores. The Chihuahua gave you a paw up. And so it'll have this effect to where I really think we're taking the world to a better place. And that's what this is all about. I mean, I think if I can get everybody to do what they're passionate about, we'll get to a point where this just becomes a better place to hang out in. And that's really what it's all about. So that's why I'm pushing you to do that. And that's why I'm spending a little extra time and calling Emmy out, and Johnny, and Sebastian from Chile, and Jeremy, who there is not even looking at me, and Veronica, who I see, and Nuno, and Oscar, and Christopher Ray, and James Boag, who still hasn't pulled the trigger. James Boag, are you in South Africa? And Lewis, who's giving me a smile because he knows about to say his name, and Daniel Quinn, who's in the dark, and Lisa, and Chris, and Michael, and even Peter, who's stalking me here from Agora. What's up, Peter? And Mariana, baby, you're on the phone. Will you click in and say hi to me? So yeah, I'm just going to call you out on this and just say, look, now's the time. Pull the trigger. We've got all these great success stories. So look, does anybody want to ask me a question? Anything I can answer? Julian's coming in here. Look out. It's Emmy. Emmy from Finland, pull the trigger. Are you kidding me? We'll do a little dance for that. We'll do a little dance. Emmy. I'm going to tell a story about a woman from Finland who almost didn't pull the trigger. She almost didn't change people's lives through storytelling. And then what happened next, Brian? She pulled the trigger. She banged the gong. All right, I'm getting crazy. All right, it's late here. Emmy, welcome. All right, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. All right. You know, I think it's amazing. Uh-oh. Julian's coming in. Is it Johnny? Johnny? Mazina. I thought it was Johnny.
Hi, Brian. Thanks for having me today evening. And I really appreciate your time. Precious
Thanks.
time.
Who's that? Who's talking? Who's this? Wait, there's Mariana. There's my wife. Baby, wave your hair. Baby, I really like the hair. I really like it. Baby, are you cooking for me or is it too late for me to eat? Just give me a thumbs up. Baby, click in and say hi. All right, sorry, I'm going to get to you in just 1 second, but let me just talk to my missus. Baby, say hi.
Hi, babe.
Hi, baby. Baby, tell these people to pull the trigger so I can come home.
Just pull the trigger. I want him home for dinner. Reasonable time, before 11.
Baby, what'd you cook? Did you cook?
Dal. Yes.
Dal, plant-based, still plant-based. Baby, you've come to graduations. You've seen the people that come. Like, you know, tell these people what they need to do. Tell them, baby.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's that's why people that already graduated, they come back to this cause because the energy pulls them in.
It's true, baby. It's true. The energy totally pulls them in. And so that's why you get stalkers like Natasha coming back here, and even stalkers like my wife coming in.
Like me. I just want to see the fresh blood coming in.
Okay, baby. All right, baby. I'm going to be home. I'm just going to answer a few more questions, and I'm coming home. I know it's late. Baby, we're changing lives here.
No, don't come home. Keep going.
Keep going? Okay. All right, baby. I love you. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye. And sorry, Marzina, I cut you off, Marzina. You just pulled the trigger, right?
Yes. And
hey, Marzina, I can't see your face. I can't see your face, Marzina. Let me see your face.
We are like, I'm really grateful to be a part of our team and looking forward for our success.
Okay, I'm excited.
To be a part of the project, and I'm actually grateful in advance for everything.
Okay.
For your precious time. You've actually, I'm speechless sometimes because of
You're
my
not speechless now, that's for sure.
Level of communication.
Marcina, you're doing great. Marcina, I can't see your face. I'm gonna have to see
because actually my husband tried to unlock the camera. It doesn't work at all.
That's good. Okay, that's fine. So look, for the course, I got to see faces because that's how we communicate. But Marcina, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate the kind work. I really do. But you know, don't thank me for my time. I mean, honestly, this is time well spent. I really feel like we're changing the world here inside London Real Academy. And I know we are, you know, and it takes time. I mean, this stuff takes time. We've been doing this for years, and it's hard. And I know it's hard for all of you to pull that trigger. And Marcina, I appreciate you doing it. I know it's scary. I remember the first time I launched my first digital product, and the first time I paid for a product, and you get this weird feeling in your stomach, like, I don't know if I'm making a big mistake. And so again, I respect anybody here that's pulled the trigger. But if you're having that feeling and you're still hanging out with me after 3.5 hours, it's time to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I've done it.
Right. So no, I know you have. So thank you so much. Okay, good. All right. I'll see you on the first call. Upload your video to Facebook. And if you paid in full, get on that campaign at the Ritz. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. All right, bye. Okay, look, folks. Who else has got a question for me? Has Johnny pulled the trigger yet? Johnny, are you with us, Johnny? Oh, everyone wants to know on Johnny. Now, anybody have questions for me? Lewis, you got a question? Mateo?
Yeah. Hi, Brian. How's it going?
That's good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm also from Tacoma. I think there was the Jeff guy that was on there earlier.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, my question is, I didn't get a chance to watch the presentation. So pulled the trigger though. So where should I start? I guess.
Ooh, so you pulled the trigger anyways. You watch it. You still pulled the trigger, right?
Yes.
How come Johnny won't pull the trigger? He watched the whole presentation. He still won't. How come Sebastian won't pull the trigger? Come on, Johnny's like, oh, Brian, you're killing me. All right, everyone's got Johnny's name. Hit him up on Facebook right now and type a message. Say, Johnny, what's going on? Let's pull the trigger. Right? They're like, Johnny, man, we got to get you communicating. So, Mateo, first of all, answer your question. We're going to send you an email to the address that you typed in when you pulled the trigger on that form. We're going to invite you to the private Facebook group, which has got the group of 100 people from around the world that have joined the course. A lot of them you see right here. You're going to upload a 2-minute introduction video. I'm going to give you module 1. If you paid in full, I'm going to give you Dan Pena live at the Ritz. It's 6 hours of him blasting. It'll get you all fired up. Like I said, there was a billionaire in the room, all these successful people. And you're going to book your first kickoff call with me, which happens before the course. Then October 16th, this thing kicks off, and it's going to go fast. So just be ready, be willing to go all in, and just be ready to be out of your comfort zone, and you're going to have an amazing success. All right?
Awesome. I'm ready.
Cool, thanks for being a part of this. I'm pumped to work with you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Okay, cool. All right, good. Look, if there's anybody else I can talk to here, I've talked to most of the people here. Miss Daniel Quinn, Johnny, you're going to surprise me here with the gong. Let me see. Christopher K. Peter Cohen. Peter, you got to come on and say hi to me, man. You're stalking me here. James Boag. Are you from South Africa? Is that right?
James here.
Hey, James. Where are you from?
I'm from Yorkshire in England.
For some reason, I thought you were like on a ranch somewhere in
No, I'm just in a small place in North Yorkshire right now. Okay, and I was looking at so I've been watching some of your interviews for a few years now, and I get the emails about your courses. Okay, and today I was looking at all the information. I didn't see the presentation, but I was just turning my computer off, and I saw that you were the latest message.
There you go.
So I already know what I want to do. I already do it. But one of the things I'm interested in, I've done very little in the way of social media or online presentation.
Okay.
I work teaching practice. Yeah, I know. Yeah. And your content has alerted me to lots of people whose online presence I've found, useful and inspiring. I've learned things from.
That sounds good. So, James, when are we going to build your business? When are we going to do this?
So, I mean, basically, I teach practical applied yoga philosophy with integrated programs.
Cool.
I've done it around the world for several years now, and I've studied Sanskrit, and I work with storytelling and text and movement and meditation and singing.
I mean, say no more. This is that you're sitting on top of a massive business. Just say no more.
Yeah, and the thing is that, up until now, I've been mainly presenting to small groups of people who know they're interested in yoga. But what's become very evident for me in recent years is that so many people who are never going to go to a yoga class are really hungry for the type of practical teaching that yoga offers.
They are. Okay, so what is stopping you from pulling the trigger and actually adding value to the world and helping people get across the goal line?
So I wanted to check about
why haven't you done it? Why haven't you done it?
How much time would I need to be able to guarantee
2 to 4 hours a week.
Okay.
You have 2 to 4 hours a week. If this is important to you, you have it.
Yeah. And I've never had Facebook or anything like that, so I just need to set up an account. Are there any other things I need?
Now, a lot of people join Facebook when they join our course. And again, we don't use Facebook like Facebook does. We don't use it. We don't post puppy dog videos and rainbows and inspirational quotes. We use Facebook for business. All right. We are in there taking our businesses to the next level. We're communicating with each other, and we use it to also post video to potential customers. So again, I'm not a fan of Facebook. I think it's a waste of time, but I'm a fan. I am a producer of social media. I am not a consumer of social media. And I'm going to do the same thing, James. So,
because this is the thing that's been a bit, people have been telling me for years, you need to.
Yeah, you do, but you need to do it in the right way. And we'll show you exactly. We choose 5 social networks. I show you how to use every single one of them. I show you how to not waste time, because honestly, you can spend 60 hours a week on social media if you want, and your business will go nowhere. So I show you all the pitfalls. We made all the mistakes here at London Real. I focused on social media followers for 2 years. You know how much revenue it brought me? This much. There's one number that matters. If you're an entrepreneur, that's revenues. Nothing else matters. With revenues, give you options. The more revenues you make, the more people you're helping. So that's what we would teach you, James. Honestly, James, you're sitting on so much IP. You've got so much experience. I can tell in your voice. Does anybody here doubt that James is massively knowledgeable and could change their life about yoga and all these other practices? Does everybody think that James can do this job? I do. Oh, it's Johnny. Matthew. I'm staying here till Johnny pulls the trigger. So yeah, James, look, honestly, I mean, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say this, not just to you, but to everybody here. I think it's selfish if you don't join this course, because you're sitting on all this knowledge. And there's all these people out there that could be helped from what you know. But the only way to do it is to get out there and literally charge them money, because when you charge them money, they'll invest in themselves and you'll take tens of thousands of people to the next level. And this is, you have to do this, James. And we can show you exactly how. I've worked with a lot of people just like you and taken them to the next level.
Okay.
Are you joining us, James?
Yeah, I'm going to sleep on it, but I'm...
Sleep on it?
Yeah.
The monkey brain. This is what's there to sleep on? I mean, this is a no-brainer. It's a money-back guarantee. It's a payment plan to get in. There's nothing to sleep on. It's your monkey brain just trying to play small. You're bullying yourself. It's crazy. So, I'm just saying, just tell me no. Don't insult my time. No.
I don't feel no is the honest thing to say.
It's either like, I'm telling you, fortune favors the brave. It's like, it should be black and white. It should be like, you're right, Brian. I'm feeling this with my gut. So, I just think for most people, you already know, and it's just there, and I don't want you to miss out. So look, it's up to you, James, but I am looking for people that really want to put something in the game. And again, folks, this is why I charge money for this, because I would never get the results unless we did. And honestly, we've done this for a cheaper price point, and I never have this success stories. And by the end of the course, I lose people, because if the course was, say, only $500, when things get hard in week 4, you'd be like, you know what? You could keep the $500. I'm out of here, Brian. But the thing is when you invest the money, when it gets hard in week 4, you're actually like, you know what? I'm just going to do what he says. And that's when people start finding success. And so I know this because I've been mentored by some of the greatest people in the world. And when the going gets tough, that's when I find my greatest results. So there you go, James. I hope you change your mind and join us again. And this program will be sold out very, very soon. It's super popular tonight. I don't know what is in the water tonight, but there's tons of people just going crazy. So I hope you join us. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Nice talking to you. Okay, cool, folks. All right, look, a couple more questions. Veronica, got to click in here. Kosakova. Wait, hold on. Are you? Wait. Well, let me guess. Kosakova. Are you from Slovakia?
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Damn, I got it right.
You're good, but I'm not in Slovakia actually.
You're not in Slovakia, but you're
from.
No,
I'm in Birmingham right now because I'm studying here.
Okay, cool, good stuff. All right, I've lived in Europe long enough to where I'm getting pretty good with names. I can kind of do sometimes Hungary and Kova. I know a few Slovakians. I went to a wedding in Slovakia, so I got love. Wow. So, look, Veronica, it's great having you here. You're a student in Birmingham, and yet you still pulled the trigger. So why? What made you do it? Because you're busy. I'm sure, you could say you don't have enough money. You got all the excuses everyone else does, but why'd you pull